So here is the Samsung Galaxy S4 Zoom, and I don't do any reviews nor comparison videos, but I am going to show you guys how this thing works, but I want to explain a few things first. So here is a 10x optical zoom compared to digital zoom. You also have the 24mm wide-angle lens. You have a Xenon flash compared to LED flash. Then on the bottom, there used to be a plug inside of there, and once you take it off, it exposes to where you can put it on a tripod. Then you have the micro SD slot where you can put in an additional 64 gigs of external storage. And then on the bottom, if you were to open that up, that is where your battery is at, along with the SIM card. But when I was talking about earlier, in terms of the micro SD slot, just so you guys know, there may be a couple different models of this, and the one that I have here has 16 gigabytes of internal storage. The other model may have 8, so just as an FYI. Now, if you guys are familiar with my channel, you guys should definitely head over to the Samsung Galaxy S4 video. It's 19 minutes long, but it shows you everything you need to know about the Galaxy S4 family. Now, this one is the Galaxy S4 Zoom, and so I'm going to just show you everything that is new in terms of the camera. So the first things I want to show you guys is in terms of the shooting modes. You're going to notice that it says My Mode, Expert, Smart, and Auto. And so if you head into My Mode, this just shows the 5 modes that you like the most. Previously, it will give you 5 preset ones, which I have changed recently. You can do it, number 1, hit on Edit through the camera application, and then all you have to do is just choose which of the shooting modes you want to be, your favorite ones that you use all the time. So let's say that you always take photos of food, but you don't do as much of macro. So I'm going to head into food, and now I got my 5. So just so you guys know, you can only have 5. Let's say I don't really take pictures of landscape, so I'm only using 4 of the 5. And if you're an expert with cameras and you know exactly what Color Wizard is, program, and manual, then you can actually choose one of those as well. So I'm not that big into cameras in terms of what every single thing means, so I am going to choose it as macro. And I'm going to hit done. And that's the good thing about this camera, is that it makes it really easy for all those people that are non-experts with this device. Now here's the other thing you'd be able to do. Now you can see where the ring is at. Just so you guys know, this is where the optical ring is. And when you turn it, what's going to happen is you will get this icon right here. And so you can do this inside of a phone call. You can do it on the normal home screen. So if I go back to the home screen and I turn on that dial, this is where it shows the My Modes. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you also have the automatic of auto and the automatic of the gallery preset there. If one of these you want to go into really fast, you hit on the shoot button on the top, or you can actually click on the icon on the screen, and there you go. Another way you can edit those is go into mode, go into smart, and this is where all the smart modes are at, and you're going to notice that there is a little star right next to one of the shooting modes. So let's say that I don't want it to be on the smart mode suggestion, and I want to move it over to dawn. Or let's say you want to view it in another way. You can actually just go into where it shows the spindle, and inside of the spindle, this is where you can choose it as well. So for example, where it says dawn, I just press and hold, get that star off of there if I want to put it back on my landscape, and now I got it back on the landscape. And so if you guys notice that when I was looking in the mode and it said smart mode, if you notice that over here right a couple seconds ago, it didn't have this description there. If one of your devices does not have this, all you have to do is go into the little caret on the upper left hand side, click on the settings, so you can go into the settings of the camera, and then where it says description, make sure you want to turn it on. And then this way, this will actually show you what is going on and give you a description inside of the spindle. And once you have learned everything in terms of all of these different shooting modes and what they do, then once you do, all you got to do is go into the grid mode, and this is where you can just find something extremely quick. So, just to show you guys what is in this device, if you guys have not bought it yet, there is a kids mode. And basically what this does is it plays several different sounds as you press and hold on the shutter button halfway down. So check this out. I'm going to choose on kids mode, and I'm going to press it down halfway. It made a sound. I'm going to do it again. It made another sound. And then there we go. And what's going to happen is it'll do 5 different photos. So it'll pick that kid shot, usually hopefully out of one of those 5. You never know when they're going to smile or laugh and look away. Best face is basically where it takes 5 different photos and it's going to focus on the different faces on there, and then you can choose which face you want inside of that entire photo. Continuous shot, you just basically press and hold, and it's going to take 4 per second. And then you have best photo. This is where it takes a series of photos, and then you can it's going to suggest which one is the best one, and then actually you can change it. So let's say that I take a photo right now. It's going to take 8 different photos, and it'll put a thumbs up next to the one that it thinks is best. If you feel that there is something else that is actually better than this little thumb up right there, then all you got to do is just press and hold on the other photo for a couple seconds, press and hold on this one for a couple seconds, and now it's away. If you want to save 2 of them, you can just press and hold. Maybe you want a different one, press and hold. And then now you just hit save, and those 3 photos are saved out of the 8. Let's go into another shooting mode here. So beauty face, basically it just corrects all the facial imperfections. I guess I can use this one quite a bit if I put it on the front facing camera, which by the way, this is a 16 megapixel camera on the backside and then a 1.9 on the front. Smart mode suggests basically it's able to take a photo, but it also recommends you which shooting mode you should be in. Here is light trace. It basically will take a photo if, let's say, you're sitting at a corner and you put this on a tripod, which I highly suggest. You don't want to hold on to this camera. Then it's just going to take a really long photo where the shutter is extremely slow. Fireworks, this one's good for fireworks. Some of these are, it explains itself by the name. Here's night mode. Here is sunset. We also have silhouette, perfect for all the different backlightings, and then as well as shadows. Sound and shot, it takes a picture, then also records sound as well. Then here is the eraser shot, and you want to be in this mode if there's somebody moving in the background, and then once they turn purple, you touch them, and then they delete. And then here is drama shot. It takes basically pretty much 100 photos in 5 seconds, and then it places them throughout the entire scene. Animated photos, where it creates its own GIF. Waterfall. Just the best shooting mode for a waterfall. Here's the panorama shot. This is where you can go up, down, left, or right. Rich tone, basically it just takes a couple photos and then it puts all these different exposures together. Action freeze is good for fast movement. Indoor and party. So you guys are going to see a lot of shooting modes on this, so you're going to have something for everything. Food mode. This thing is ridiculous. It takes the amazing pictures of food. Macro. This is where I have my own photo of my own ladybug, as you guys can tell right over here. Look at that guy. Okay, let's go back into this camera here. So let's go to the shooting modes, let's go back to smart. And then the last one you guys saw was macro. And then here is snow, and this is made for if it's really bright out and you have a lot of light or white on the ground. Dawn is perfect for dawn time, and then here's your landscape, and then now we're back to kid shot. So now let's go into something that I love, which is going to be all the different settings, okay? So you hit on the caret, and then you go into the settings icon. The very first tab you're going to see is in terms of the camera. This is where you turn on the flash, turn off the flash. Here's your timer, detection display, and then photo size. So if you want a different photo size, make sure you put it on 16 megapixels, 14 megapixels, 12 megapixels, 10 megapixels, whatever you want. When you go into the video, this is where you can turn on some of the settings for this. When you go to the movie size, this is where you can choose it if you want it to be 1920 by 1080p, which is full HD. And then you also got the other option down here, which is 1280 by 720, which is also HD. But if you notice where it says 30 frames per second and also 60 frames per second, 30 frames per second and 60 frames, you can't really tell that big of a difference between your eyes, but your brain can definitely feel the difference in terms of 60 frames per second. It just looks much more smooth. And then in the share options here, you have the share shot. You also have the buddy photo share, the chat on, and then also the remote viewfinder. If you don't know what these things mean, or if you want a reminder, you just click on the little eye for information on the upper right hand side. Share shot is basically where you can be able to share it with other devices that's on the same, or you guys are connecting through the Wi-Fi direct. And then you also have the buddy photo share, which is where it'll pick up your friends whose faces are being detected. And then remote viewfinder, this is my favorite one down here. I have a separate video. It's only 3 minutes long. You guys have to watch that. I can put that in my details underneath this video. And then here is the settings. This is where you can turn all of this stuff on and off, and the beep, the description, as I showed you from before. When to close the camera, the review, a signature. A signature is really cool. When you turn on the signature, first off, you can select which one it's going to do. So this one has Galaxy S4 Zoom, but I also have my Jimmy is promo signature as well. So let's say that I want to turn that on. Settings, go back to signature, turn it on. And then you get to choose it if you want it on the right side, left side on the bottom, or the left side, right side on the top. So I'll just have it on the bottom left-hand side, hit done. I'm going to take a photo. And as you can tell, it's going to be placing it on the bottom left-hand side. If you're to replace or review this photo, that date will go away in a second, and there it is. So there is two different ways you can zoom in on this camera. You have the back arrow, or the down arrow, along with the plus arrow if you want to zoom in and zoom out, or you have your spindle that is actually on this ring, and once you spin it, it'll go in and out. So when you guys play with a Galaxy S4 Zoom and you head into the settings, one of the things I didn't mention from before is actually in terms of the video settings where it says multi-motion. When you go into multi-motion, this is where it's going to show the X1, which is the speed of what is going on at that moment in time. But you also have half the speed, fourth the speed, and eighth the speed. Then you have 2 times, 4 times, or 8 times the speed if you scroll down. Now, also, if you guys are playing with your device and you notice that it is not showing 16 megapixels and 14 megapixels and things like that, it may be because you are in the front-facing camera orientation. Whichever camera you're using, the front-facing or the rear-facing, when you go into the settings, that's where it's going to show different things. So, example, photo size is only 1.9, 1.3, 1 megapixel, or the 0.3. And then in terms of the video, you only have the option of doing the 1280 by 720p in terms of the best quality for video compared to the rear camera, which is the 1280 by 10 or 1920 by 1080p. So if you guys also notice that you are in a different shooting mode and you're not seeing some of these settings, just remember you may be in a different shooting mode compared to auto. And so let's, for example, go into continuous shot. When you scroll down and you hit onto the settings, you're going to see that there's going to be different things popping up, okay? So FYI, please look at what shooting mode you're in. I always suggest to head into where it says auto and then putting it onto the settings that you guys want so you guys can see exactly what I'm showing. And so closing off on this video, just so you guys remember, this thing, yes, is a 10-time optical zoom, 16 megapixels with a Xenon flash, and either 8 or 16 gigabytes of internal storage depending on your model. This also has the IR blaster on the top so you can control any TV, cable box, Blu-ray player, DVD player, home projector, things like that. And it's also a phone. So just keep that in mind when you purchase this thing. You have 3 different things in one, where each one is easily spent at $200 each. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please put a like or a thumbs up along with subscribing to my videos, and I'll make sure that you guys will keep updated with all the Samsung Galaxy devices coming out.